Alright, let's see. Live Oaks, no Artie, top tier. It's not bad. So especially when there's no Artie, you can go up here if you want. They added this hill here, and you can spot some things over here. Usually your team's not really in that good of a position to actually counter it, though. I like going south to about right here to prevent them from just pushing down into this area for free. So you can do either one of those, really. Both of them are pretty useful for your team. When always, 20-30 seconds into the game, you want to see how your team is dispersing. So it looks like there's a pretty even split. You got some heavies coming down here. It doesn't really help you that much, but it depends on how far they go. Now I don't like going to this bush right here because it's really, you don't really get that good of shots right there. I prefer sitting right there. I think it's easier to spot them as they come up. As they come up over this ridge over here. And I always blind fire through these bushes anyways, so another reason. See how their T-71 is up there? Definitely want to hit.
It's a trap!
Why they didn't choose to blind fire that bush before you went in there? I don't know. Also, when you're up there, you see how this guy's going after that side over there. You get good shots over there. Oh, shoot that T-71.
It's a trap!
So right now your team is playing too far back, right? This is where you don't want to play. It's a little bit safer when there's no artillery on either team, but that SU-100M1 that was not the right time to push there. You can't really support him because there's too many people that are going to shoot you. Yeah, I'm not entirely. Well, I guess you only got shot once, but. Not entirely sure that was worth it. And again, that's a situation where if you're a little bit further up here, especially when there's no artillery, you get better shots on those guys, and you're basically hauled down, so it's much safer. But you guys have given up a lot of ground here, right? So you guys have sort of moved up here, but they haven't moved up to a position where they're actually useful enough to shoot anything, which is always going to be a problem. I wouldn't worry about the 1390, yeah. If you can get around to the backs of these guys. So you still don't know what's back here because you don't really have very much intel, so you have to be a little bit careful. But if you don't take some pressure off of your guys over here, they're all going to die because they're that bad. Snapshot, best shot. You're better off pushing through this guy right here, right? They don't have enough positioning where they can stop you. You don't want to be on a front edge here against a guy who has fire behind him. Like, see where that Centurion is? You can get better shots on that guy. You could push this T-71 if you wanted. You're playing this a little bit too much like a medium tank and not really utilizing your speed to your advantage.
It's a trap!
You're still playing this a little bit too much like a medium tank.
It's a trap! Gegnerisches Fahrzeug ausgeschaltet. Unser Munitionslager wurde getroffen.
That's not gonna be enough business. So see how these guys, they both pushed up over here, the type's on top. You can push this A45 if you wanted. You could also get shots at the type. You're just playing this a little bit too much like a medium. Like, your gun is not like a huge advantage here, it's your speed that's the advantage.
ausgeschaltet.
That's fine. Still, see if you can... You know that there's not anybody back here. There's not. So you can go over the top here and try to get shots. You can also go back to the A position right here and get shots on the backs of these guys. So like if you drove over to these railroad tracks, you would see how easy it is to get shots into this area where they're at right now, as opposed to being like at this bush. Like if you just drive right, I guess you get hit. But anyways, so what I was saying is that if you're over here, you get these same shots, but you're basically hull down against these guys. You're pulling a little bit too far back. The T-29 is not going to jump shoot you. Because you can get 2 shots for his 1 if you're a little bit faster. And then I would push through the middle here, because you need to get the shots on this guy while he's lit. See how it's like, he's right when you get up there, he's gonna like get up magically unlit. Oh, go T-37! Alright, well that worked out for you. And you've lost this side. They've got enough speed where they can probably get back, even if you guys get on cap. I would try to see if you can clear up like this T-29. I would still cut across here. Going across here isn't of any real benefit to you. He's coming back your way.
It's a trap!
Your T-37 is getting shots on him, so as long as you keep him lit, T-28 Proto is not in a super great position. Your Tiger 1 could potentially get shots on him as well.
It's a trap!
Get shots on the T-29. Relight the Proto. Relight the Proto. More important to the T-29 than the baddie T-29. Because the Proto can, if the Proto keeps crawling towards you, right, he's going to get into a position where he can see you. Or he can jump you. But as long as he's lit, like your T-37 there was still going to be able to peck away at him. You've lost that other side, which is a problem, but peck, peck, peck. And then relight the Proto. Oh my god. T-29 not important. T-29 totally keen in on that area. You've lost this. Your T-37 is going to die soon. So once the T-37 dies, you don't really have any recourse for the Proto anymore. Because the Proto is going to be difficult to take on frontally. But while you have teammates in position to deal with it, you should try to keep that guy lit. No, the Proto. Ouch. Lay out. Unfortunately, T-37 wasn't quite able to take him out fast enough. But it would have been really easy for you to just keep that T-28 Proto lit for your T-37, and then eventually he would have been able to take him out. Looks like they all came back instead of move forward. That was actually a pretty ideal situation for you there. You tunneled when that 4502A came around, and despite the fact that you weren't going to have any shots on him for a while, and then you didn't notice that the T-28 Proto got lit. Again, that T-28 Proto is something that you could have assisted your team in dealing with very easily at very little cost to yourself. And that guy was the hugest threat to you, not the T-29 that, you know, with 29 win 8 or whatever it was. Let's say, hang on, let's well, these numbers are important. 49 win 8. You know, that guy was not the threat to you. The big threat was the T-28 Proto. Not only was the T-28 Proto the biggest threat, the T-28 Proto was in the worst position for their team because he was already flanked. There's nothing that he could do. in the open. All he had to do was be lit, and then that T-37 was going to be able to get shots on him all day. And this T-37 is not a fantastic player, but he was in the right position for you, and you needed to take advantage of that. There's no way that this is going to end in a tie. There's 5 minutes left in this game. I mean, I guess they are sort of a slowish team, but... yeah, what you don't want to do is sit. Lol. Well, I don't know. Yeah. So overall, I thought you did fairly well. I thought your positioning on your opening position could have been a little bit better. I don't like sitting in that bush. I don't think it's a very good bush. I think it's a very predictable area at the very least. So I think you need to be careful when you head over to that side. The other thing is the hang on, let me bring that up. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. So the other thing is that I think while you were over there, you started playing a little bit like you were a medium, like your gun was going to be like super effective there. And yeah, it was against like a couple tier 7s. It was fine. But you're doing a little bit too much peekaboo. You know, you use your speed to reposition and get to areas where you can put pressure on them in a little bit more of a sustained fashion. Sort of what their T-71 did. You could have countered their T-71 pretty easily as well. And then after that, it was just, you know, little things like making sure that your team was able to take out that T-28 prototype would have been a huge advantage for your team in winning that side, because then everybody else still has to come across a big open field in order to get towards the cap, and it didn't seem like any of their guys went to move to put cap pressure on you. So you had the opportunity there, you just didn't. You just ignored that T-28 prototype, which was the biggest threat in the field. There were many points. T-28 prototype was the biggest threat on the field to you and to all of your team on the south. You had a person in position to shoot him. There was nowhere that he could run. Right? It wasn't like that T-28 proto was going to turn on the afterburners and get someplace safe. Right? As long as that guy was lit, he was going to get shot. Eventually, he was going to die. Otherwise, did pretty well. 5k damage on 28 shots is good. That's what we like to see. Your team didn't actually do that poorly for the most part. I mean, a couple of your mid tiers kind of fell down a little bit, but that will happen from time to time. Overall, I don't think your team did that badly. I think you had opportunities to win the game. Just unfortunate that it didn't quite work out that way. And unfortunately, they still had some big guns left over, although, you know, they didn't really have a whole lot of health. GG, nice try. I will send you a codes through the official forums later. Probably later tonight, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. At some point. Alrighty, the next one is another light tank, Bulldog. I can hear it, but I can't actually see it. Oh, there it goes. That was slightly annoying. Alright, so Bulldog, tier 9 gain, so it's a +1 gain. Pretty much similar comps. They've got a couple more tank destroyers, which usually is good for you, but a lot of it depends on like how much of your team decides to go to this south area here. So if you want, you can take a peek up through the middle. I don't advise pushing forward to the rock or anything like that. Just, you know, peek up there. If you want, you can go through this northeast. Either way is good from this spawn. From the other spawn, it's almost always better to go here first to spot them coming in and ideally be able to slow them down. But from this side, you don't really have that sort of advantage. So you can't really do that. And then you have to be careful here because they do have an advantage. They can be moved right there to spot your guys. I like to try to counter that when I can. At least what I would do is peek up over here on this side where you can be relatively safe and just clear this part of this lane so that when your guys come in, they don't get lit and shot. Because like where you're going right now, right, all this has been scouted out. We already know what's up here. That's not like the huge mystery of the world. The big mystery is what's going on over here. That's what you still don't know. And then you have to be careful because this is an artillery lane. Drive wheel! Drive wheel! You don't want to eat that shell. It's not worth trading your little gun or your little pop gun for his big heavy gun. It's just not. You don't want to corner trade like that. And you almost got hit by the artillery there as well. So your artillery is already doing a good job of owning those guys. So I'm not sure. I don't know what you're bringing to the table here. I guess is my question. So these guys are still going to be in this area right here. It's something to keep an eye on. And then you can sort of put pressure through here, but it's not going to be really fruitful for the most part. Probably. So you haven't been like super effective in your positioning so far in this game. You've just been kind of driving around and taking bad.
We didn't penetrate their armor. Critical hit. It's a trap.
You're still in a position where you can potentially get artillery, so you want to get safe. And they're already through to your base. So everybody needs to come back. Hopefully they do.
Target acquired. Target released. Ricochet. It's a trap. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy is hit. Penetration. Penetration.
So this is the first good position that you've had in this game. So 3.5 minutes in. Don't back up too much. You'd rather get shot by the RU than get shot by the artillery. It's just the way that life works. So if you hug that sort of inside area there, it would have made it much more difficult. You need to cover your pattern, because if your pattern dies and you're kind of boned on this side. Ideally, you would have wanted your team to come back. That's not what they chose. You could probably push that RU-251 if you really wanted to. You're still being you're playing this a little bit too much like your gun is more important than your other aspects of your tank. There's no reason why you can't push up over here. Don't get close enough so that you proxy him, right? Because otherwise you give him a warning. You're letting him know, hey, I'm coming from over on this side. You don't want to do that.
Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy vehicle destroyed.
He's up on the ledge right there. You can still push this waffle pretty easily. He's gonna run out to this side.
Target acquired.
It's a trap!
Enemy is hit. Enemy armor is hit. Gotcha.
Run like the wind. Get already safe. Unfortunately, your team died pushing, which happens a lot. People don't know. Like, once you win this area, and you didn't even win it very efficiently because you had to push into this area. Once you clear off this area, there's no reason to push through here. There's certainly no reason to push through the base from this side. It's just, it gives them a lot of advantages. And even on a light tank, you don't want to sit out too much in the open here. You want to wait. Even if you spot things, right, your team is not in a position to shoot any of it. So if your team isn't in a position to do anything, you actually want to be someplace where it's a little bit more secure.
It's a trap!
You should have taken the chance to kill that M41 5. Oh, never mind. We've got the Panther 2 there.
Target acquired. Enemy is hit. One of our gas tanks ruptured. We're low on fuel.
No, you're giving him a shot. Oh, he missed. You could have hid behind that little, there's like a little hill in there that would have saved you from the Panther 2. Now, at this point, you really need your buddy to do more than you. But anyways, so I don't think that was like a super great position. You always want to be a little bit further south than that point on the hill where you were, because where they're going to come through is one of two areas, right? They're going to come through this area over here, or they're going to come through this area over here on the side, right? And you want to be able to spot them a little bit further back over here. I don't know that was necessary. There's no reason for you to drop down there. You basically put yourself on the same plane as this guy, which doesn't help you. Doesn't help either of you. Right, so now he's going to get pinched there because there's no pressure on this Roomba at all. The Roomba's going to be pushing up on your left. Someplace. Oh, he's probably actually climbing up on this side. Who knows where the super Pershing is?
Ready to fire.
It's a trap!
Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged. Got him.
Run! Run! You could actually run up through this side. You don't want to hang out there. It's not a very good place for you. And then you want to clear this quickly. If he's facing you, so be it. If he's not facing you, great. But you want to clear this quickly because you don't want to give the super Pershing time to get up here. Don't be slow. Just be fast. If he's not facing you, it's fine.
Enemy armor
It's a
is hit.
trap!
Penetration. Enemy is hit. They're knocked out.
And then just completely bail off of this side. So what you actually want to do is just start pushing west on this JK line. If the super Pershing gets on cap, so be it. I don't know that you wanted to reload right there, at least until you clear this K line. You're not worried about running into the super pershing, you're worried about running into the artillery. But you need to start pushing out on this side. You need to start repositioning. Because even if the super pershing gets on cap, like let's assume that that's a super pershing on cap right now, you want to be coming from a different angle. You don't want to be coming from the same angle. And so if at all possible, like if they move the GW Panther up here, you want them to kill that guy and then come back to cap to reset. And then the best thing to do is to actually come up over on this side over here. Super Pershing's not going to have great camo. So you know that they're moving something else out there. Would have been nice because like you could have potentially killed that SU-14-2 and then gone back for the Super Pershing. Now you're sort of, once they get two guys close enough together, especially since you're one shot, it makes it a lot more difficult for you. And so you can stand out in the open here, and it's unlikely the Super Pershing is going to be able to spot you even if he has optics. You want to move a little bit, and then just move back. No, take your time. No reason to rush.
It's a trap!
Just, there's no reason for you to stand out there. So all you really wanted to do there was just get that reset, right? Just one reset was all that you really needed. So now they're gonna have two on cap though, so that's something that you're gonna have to keep in mind. So I would actually stay on this side. You still can outspot him. They're gonna try to move to a position where they can't be shot directly by you. This is not a good position that you're going to now. Because now they can cover both sides, right? And all the Super Pershing has to do is counter you. So you need to attack them from afar. So you can outspot them still, so...
It's a trap!
We're done for. Everyone get out.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. I still think that, especially given their positioning, it looks like you probably could have been able to snipe that 14-2 at the very least. Yeah, you gotta, so I think you could have used your camo to reset that. It would have been nice if you had cleared this K line first before going back to try to reset the Super Pershing, because that would have taken off the pressure that you would have had from the cap there. You didn't really need to sit out there shooting at the Super Pershing. Just get one reset and back off, and then if you don't get lit, then you can try to reposition yourself to where you can deal a little bit more damage. But he's just gonna move, so that's something that you need to be concerned about. You spent the first 3 minutes or so of the game a little bit not doing anything. You didn't do anything useful to your team. You didn't spot anybody. You didn't shoot anybody. You didn't really do anything. You got shot by an IS-3 when you were trying to trade with him around a corner, which is not what you want to do in a Bulldog. You almost got hit by the artillery as well in that same position. Like that's not a. You always want to analyze whether the positions that you were in were profitable or not, and that was not a profitable position for you. And so that's something to keep in mind. Otherwise, I mean, I thought you did okay. And so if we look at the stats, so you did 3k damage in a +1 game, which, yeah, I mean, that's pretty good. Your team actually did not do that badly. So it's not, I don't think this was a team thing. Would have been nice if you guys could have enticed your team to come back to defend the cap instead of trying to push forward to attack into their cap, because that would have helped you guys out a lot, would have saved you some lives, like especially if that T-54 was still alive, would have been really nice. But them's the breaks. Yeah, not bad. GG, nice try. I will send you a code through the official forums at some point. Alright. And one more light tank. 1390 this time. Alrighty, it's a +1 and no RD, which is unfortunate, but pretty much the same comps. So I would do a loop, so you can do the 7-8 loop, and then all you gotta do is stick the edge of your turret over the ridge there, and you'll get an idea of what they're sending to the field side. Looks like most of your team, a little bit more than half of your team is headed city. You want to be careful to not get shot by that T-49. You see, you got looked off. You got looked off. You're not doing anything. Go up there. What are you doing back here? You can't spawn anything back here. You also went a little bit high on that. Like, you didn't need to go all the way out there. All you got to do is stick your turret over, and that will light them. And then see how your guys take the back positions here? That's not a good sign. You've got 3 mediums here. It doesn't look like they pushed a whole lot out here, but you don't have a whole lot of intel because you got looked off there a bit.
It's a trap!
So that's the same amount of knowledge. So as far as you know, you can actually bully them out there, given your guys' comp. But your guys are all playing pretty timid. Your DeLorean is moving up now, which is good. Unfortunately, it looks like he's driving out into the open, which is bad. So they do have an IS-8 in the back. There's no reason why you shouldn't have already known that that IS-8 was there. Patton's gonna back up into your line. You could have shot that Patton. You can still shoot that Patton. Like, I don't... Like, the best thing that can happen for you over here is you end up... I guess that works. He allows you to shoot him in the ass.
It's a trap!
They're playing pretty passive back there as well, which is to your advantage. Oh, you pulled off of that shot. That's fine. Your team still hasn't really moved up, other than the Lorraine that had moved up. You don't know what else is back there. You're not trading very efficiently in the city, it doesn't look like. For some reason, you moved a Batchat into the city. I never really understood why mediums go into the city there. So you can play the 0 line here, because it doesn't look like they have a whole lot. The problem with playing 0 line in a light clip tank is that you don't have any sustain. So it's really easy for them to push you at the end.
It's a trap!
It's a good job. Try to focus down one of these guys. The Patton would be great. It's on your left. No, the Patton. No, the Patton.
It's a trap!
Run back to your team. Unfortunately, your team's still playing pretty passive. See how they're still back on this back line over here? You don't want to get stuck on the back line. You want to be someplace where you're in the front. Unfortunately, that Patton is still alive, and now that Leo is just poking over there. You need to try to clean this up. Both of those guys are... You can clean this up with a single clip if you make your clip efficient. So you don't want to start from this far back.
It's a trap!
Oh man, now your dudes are even running away. You can still clean this up with one clip if you're efficient. Shoot him through the window.
It's a trap!
So they're bailing off of this side, which is even more fantastic. But look, at least you got your tortoise. And the tortoise was like, oh my, I almost had a shot this game. If only that guy kept coming. So I would push that Patton. You know the T-62 is running away. You know the 7-1 is frozen. You're going a little bit too wide for where you need to be. Not entirely sure how you lose this game. Well, except for the fact like you should have already known where that pattern was.
It's a trap!
Lol. Just stop and get a shot on it. Oh, what are you doing? The Lorraine is pressing up on the other side. Just wait for the Lorraine. No, 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 no. Why would you? Why not just sit there and wait for your Lorraine? Your Lorraine's gonna push him, then you're gonna get the shot. Or the Lorraine's not gonna push him. You gotta cover him from that T-62A. Just that was like horrible second line play there. You're like, I'm gonna go to where I can't help the guy who's pushing on both sides. You need to try to link up with the rest of your team right now. This tortoise is he's very, very close to getting his first shot of the game. He's excited. He's been waiting a while. There's no reason why you can't go and help over in here. The T-62A is going to come up through the 3 line. Oh man! See, at least that first shell that tortoise fired, he made it count. T-62A is going to be on this lane. You need to try to push it, just on the off chance that he's not, to get to the back of the IS-7. You don't have any choice. Just do it. No! Make it count! Make it count! There you go. Now if you die, that's fine. So be it. Oh, even better. No, no! What are you doing? Don't! Oh my god. Just, you have a 2v1. Just wait. If he shoots, sure, fine. Go ahead and see if you can get a shot. It doesn't look like you have a shot. But now counter, counter, counter. He's gonna push the T6, the tortoise. You don't have enough in your clip. Just run.
It's a trap!
Yeah, you didn't have enough there to be able to kill him, anyways.
It's a trap!
Just run. You can't go east. You actually have to go west. Don't try to go east. Don't do it. It would have been much safer for you to go west, right? Because then he doesn't really know where you went, right? You can curl around here. You can curl around here. When you tell him where you're going, I mean, that's you give him an advantage. Unfortunately, that IS-7 was able to do a little bit too much damage to the tortoise. If the tortoise could have taken one more shot, you could have potentially gotten out there in time. And then, so what are you looking for here? What type of situation are you trying to make? You're trying to make a situation where he has to come across an open field to you and you're in a sheltered area. So how do you create that situation? I will give you a hint. It is not by driving around in a tank that is very, very poor at sniping. So probably the best place to stop would have been like back here, in this area right here, because then you could spot this lane right there and that lane right there. Because then you could have known he was coming, gotten a free shot. And then it's very easy to spot the cap from here. He's coming off the cap, so he's going to be on this A line most likely. If he's not right here, then he's going to be moving down the 6 line. So start going out so you can find him. And this is where you need to get the intel. You need intel. You need to know where he's at. Don't pussyfoot at this point. You don't want him to get too far away from cap, otherwise he's got the advantage because you don't know where he is. You have the advantage because you knew that as of 10 seconds ago he was on the cap. Okay, so he's still there. So he's telling you. I wouldn't take that shot. I would move, reposition for a better shot. Oh, I would take that shot. No, no, no! Don't take another one! Oh my god! No, don't sit out there. So one of the reasons why it's not good to shoot that, right? Once he gives you a little bit of side like that, take that shot. That's fine. If he gives you side, take that shot. Don't take that shot frontally with AP shells. That's not really to your advantage. Move over to this side where you can double bush him and get shots, and you could have killed him pretty easily by just backing up through the bush. You can't do that in the area that you're in, but you could have easily done that. The exact same thing, just basically light him, back up, get free shots on him until he dies. Yeah, I mean, I thought you allowed yourself to get looked off early at the start of the game, so you didn't really have that much intel back here. You didn't know that IS-8 was there. Your team played really timid out here. I thought you did a good job of moving on this 0 line. You had a chance to kill the Patton, and instead you decided to, I think, go 2 of 6 on, or 2 of 5 on the T-62, which didn't really help you. Your team was playing really timid, which is always bad, no matter what team you're on. But I didn't think that was necessary for you to even try to trade with the T-62, right? Moving down this 0 line, taking out the IS-8, taking out the Patton, and then moving back would have been sufficient for your team to take some pressure off of them and to make their guys over here have to refocus this 0 line. And you could have gotten out of there without getting any damage done to you at all. But I think that was a bad decision. And then there were a lot of times when you took shots on that T-62A, like particularly once it was you and the tortoise, right? There's no reason for you to rush those shots on the T-62A and have him, you know, miss a bunch of shots. Lucky for you. I thought it would have been really easy for you to wait for the tortoise to get around to the other side. If you could have gotten out the IS-7 down faster, that would have been great, but them's the breaks. Like, that's a chance that you have to take. The T-62A hasn't gotten up in time, right? Because you can't let that IS-7 punish your tortoise. Oops, that's not the right one. That's the right one. Let's see, so it was 3K and a +1 game. That's not too bad. Your team didn't do too badly. Some of your city guys didn't do that great, but they were a little bit out. Well, actually, they weren't really outnumbered. It's unfortunate that your tortoise didn't get any shots until 7 minutes into the game, but a lot of people who play this map like to camp on that A line and like to camp on the K line, so they don't really understand that they don't actually get any shots until, you know, their team loses that side, which is unfortunate. And unfortunately, a lot of your mediums that went to that side, which is good, played as far back as they possibly could, which is bad, and which is why they don't really have that much damage for the most part, and why they don't really have why you guys weren't able to efficiently take down that side. But them's the breaks. Otherwise, not bad. Nice try. GG. Work on cap resets. I will send you a code through the official forum.